bounce back. We're all going to go over 50% this week.
Yeah,
Everything's going to be
alright.
crazy. Starting with,
I don't know about that. Mike's on the pod.
oh, God. Jesus. All right.
Good evening, degenerates, and welcome back to
evening.
another episode of DGen Hours, Week 6 NFL. We are fully
Six.
cruising along
Flying.
in the regular season. If you're a fantasy guy, I mean,
Oh, God.
what are
Shit's
there-
getting real.
there's 14 weeks in the fantasy regular season. I mean, we're already on week 6. You know, we're about a third of the way there.
Yeah.
So you got to start locking in, really paying attention to these teams. And if you're a betting guy, I hope you haven't been tailing our picks because our records last week, you know, overall not fantastic. Mario and I were the only two above 50% at 6 and 4.
Terrible.
Michael just
Awful.
awful. 3 and 7 last week, 30% on the season. So he's 30% last week and he's 30% on the year. I've never seen a clip like this. I mean, through 5 full weeks of football, shooting 30% from the field is fucking nuts when you can flip a coin and get 50%. So you are so, you know, standard deviations away from the mean. This is
New
impressive.
strategy for this week, so, stay tuned.
We've had a couple new strategies. I don't think any of them have been paying off.
No, this one's a good one.
But yeah, and then, 6 and 4, another above 50% week for me. I went 2 and 10 3 weeks ago and have been climbing back since then. So I was above 50%,
Bounce
went
back.
2 and 10, being brutalized on my most picks I'd have any week. I've been dialing it to 10 picks a week, and ever since then, been above 50%. So we're moving. The only one above 50% of the season is if you are fading all of us.
Sharp.
Because no one is above 50%.
Sharp.
And then the mortals, to recap, we were 2 and 1 last week. Mar and I hit their mortal. Ryan was relegated, but he hit his as well. Only miss on the pod, Michael with Miami. So if you're a subscriber, we do a parlay every week. This week it's $1,000 if you win. Or if we win, we're going to pay one person. We already paid 2 weeks ago. Be a subscriber. Be locked in. If you're not now, click that button.
Go comment.
And let's get into the action. We got some
yeah.
big games to talk about. Game 1 on the card for week 6. Commanders at Ravens. Ravens 6.5 point home favorites against a team with a better record than them in Washington. The total 52.5. Mario, you were big on Jaden Daniels preseason. You love Jaden Daniels. You talked about him. Heisman, you said he should have been the number 1 overall pick, and he is fucking playing like it. Absolutely balling. Has his Commanders team at the 1 spot in their division.
Yeah.
This is their toughest test of the year by far.
By far.
How do you see this one playing out?
It's going to go one of two ways.
Win or loss?
80% of the time, this game goes Ravens win by 14.
Okay.
Because at home, they're going to be juiced up. Now, 20% of the time, which is the 20% I'm taking, is Commanders plus 6.5. I'm not saying they win outright because, that's a tough task, especially because I think this Baltimore team is really finding their stride right now. They're looking like one of the strongest teams in the entire league. But this Commanders team is a tough team to put away. And I think similarly, we all sit up here, we don't think that Sam Darnold's one of the best quarterbacks, but he's playing like it. And until, he goes out there and loses his team a game, like you kind of have to ride the hot hand. That's kind of what I'm doing here in this spot. I just like, Jaden Daniels, similar to like a young Lamar Jackson, just a better thrower at this stage in his career than Lamar was when he was a rookie. Tough team to put away. Just like they always go for it on 4th down. Like you never know. That could cost
They
them.
do love doing that.
No, I mean, one of these 4th and 8s might cost them, and they're going to give Lamar a really good field position. But, I mean, I'm riding with the hot hand. I think they just kind of hang in there. Whether they win or lose, 6.5 is a big, big spread. Spreads 5.5 or bigger in the NFL are not covering by such an insane margin. It's like over 80% that the teams are covering that spread. So it just like everything
the underdogs.
analytically, the underdog. So everything just points to,
Washington. Mike?
Yeah, that stat actually really heavily makes me want to flip. Although I'm not going to. I really like Jaden Daniels here. I really want him to...
The stat made you want to flip?
Yeah, just wait. Just
okay.
wait,
Let
just wait.
him cook.
I really like Jaden
You
Daniels
give your respects.
here and this year. I think he has been absolutely balling. But this isn't going to be the fault of Jaden Daniels. This is going to be the fault of the Commanders' rushing defense. I think Derrick Henry is going to absolutely obliterate them. I would not be surprised if he gets 3+ touchdowns on the game.
I'm going to bet that.
I mean, we'll talk about bets. But No, yeah.
That's
So
what
we're
we're doing.
doing.
Yeah, that's what we're
Literally
doing.
what we're
Sharp.
doing.
Yeah.
It's
So
the whole point of the show.
yeah, I really like Derrick Henry just absolutely feasting, and for that reason, I don't think the Commanders are going to be able to slow them down or stop him. So Ravens -6.5 here.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Thank you.
This is never the Ravens. This is the Commanders +6.5, and it's fucking easy. And it's not because they're going to win outright. They might. Who cares? I don't really care. I'm not betting any money lines here. But I'm definitely taking the spread. Look, guys, this Ravens defense sucks. They suck. And it's time. No one really talks about the Ravens defense. They've allowed 25 points or more in 4 out of the 5 games they've played. The only team that hasn't scored 25 points against the Ravens was the Bills when they scored 10 points. And that was the Ravens dominant that game. Every other game, Chiefs put up 27, Raiders put up 26, Cowboys put up 25, and then the Bengals last week put up 38. This Commanders team is fucking scoring as well. Not only is the Ravens defense allowing a lot of points, Commanders score a fuckload of points. They went 20, 21, 38, 42, 34. So if I don't bet totals in the NFL, but if you're doing that, there's a reason this total is so high. This total's high. People look at the Ravens. They think, oh, Ravens games, home game for the Ravens, bet the under. No. This game is going to be a lot of points scored because the Commanders defense isn't fantastic. But I think it's a high-scoring game, and I think it's back and forth high-scoring game. So I love it staying in this number. I think it's a 4-point game or less. Shout out Jaden Daniels. I think playing the best of any quarterback in the league right now. And yeah, definitely take the points here and lean over as well. I'd parlay those too if you're into that kind of thing.
Yeah, this is my line in the sand game. I'm gonna bet the under of 52.5 because of the fact that I just think that this is gonna be Jaden Daniels' first test, and this is when he's gonna have that first turnover.
Do you think their defense is a test like that though? I think his defense is just.
It's just
not
the
good.
environment. It's
I
not
mean,
even
it might
about
be.
the
So
defense.
the way I thought about their games this year, the Ravens defense was unbelievable through 3 quarters in 2 of those games. They gave up 3 touchdowns at the end of Dak press on the Cowboys. Garbage time Dak is what you guys all call him. 2 touchdowns against the Raiders in the 4th quarter when they were up the
And
whole
they did,
game
but they did lose.
and dominating. No, I'm saying, but they were dominating the 3 quarters. I think that they could do the same thing today and maybe just finish the 4th quarter
Okay,
and not
yeah.
choke it. But my line in the sand, I'm betting Ravens -6.5. If the Commanders cover or win this game, I promise you, on every single card for the rest of my year, I'll be betting the Commanders, whatever they are. This is my line in the sand. You are as real as it gets if you win.
This is like your litmus test for.
If you even
Commanders.
cover
a good
this,
way to put it.
I'm betting every single game for the rest of the year. Not even you don't have to win.
I think you might be.
I'm saying that's why I'm betting the Ravens. So
Yeah,
if I get proved wrong, because I still don't think this Commanders team's that good. They haven't played anyone. If I get proved wrong, I am all in every single week. It'll be on my card. If
Jaden
it's
Daniels for
not major.
MVP.
Clip that.
Not for MVP.
Jaden Daniels for MVP. I like it. He's riding the train. Next game, Lions at Cowboys. Big game in the NFC. See where these teams really stack up. Detroit, 3-point road favorites. Not often you see teams like this go into Dallas and be favored. Total 52.5. Ryan, I'm coming right back to you on this one. You said you weren't a huge fan of the Lions in the regular season, but you do like what you've seen so far.
No, I'm a huge fan of the Lions.
Or you're a huge fan of the regular season, not in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then the Cowboys, I know you're kind of back and forth. You're a big Dak guy.
Yeah, I like that.
Huge stack.
So how
like
do you
Dak.
see these two high-powered teams going against each other?
Weird game. Really weird game. Because Cowboys have looked not great. They got lucky against the Steelers in the
They're
last
lucky.
second. It was a good drive.
4th and goal.
It was a good drive to end the game. I mean, hats off. You beat our defense
Yeah.
on 4th goal. There's nothing you could do. I can't really argue with it. I thought this spread would be bigger because the Cowboys look terrible. The defense looked beat up, and
Really?
They
Even
just-
on the road. Lions.
yeah, I still think it would be like the Lions look. They scored 50 points last time they played before their bye. They're coming off a bye. Weird game. I'm gonna take the Lions here. I'm still gonna ride their regular season where I think they're gonna be good. Not heavy though. I think this could go either way. Cowboys gonna have one of those weird slow down rushing games where they somehow win in a low game. But again, I'm gonna bet the under this game. I'm betting every under Lions game. I'm betting the under 52.5 every day of the week. The Lions have done this once, and it was against the Seahawks, which was just a million game. It went over. Besides that, all unders. But weird game. I think it's a weird game.
Yeah, easy Lions -3. Lions, and then you're gonna add some lines to that.
Little Lion.
Yeah, these teams are 2 different calibers. This Cowboys team is not very good. The only reason their defense looked semi-passable last week is because they played the Steelers offense, which we don't have to get into right now. But I mean,
another
we
discussion.
need fucking help on that offense. But dude, the Cowboys defense isn't good. And their offense really isn't spectacular. CD looked very frustrated. There's a lot of clips circulating of him yelling at
getting
Dak.
a little hot
He's
at
not
him,
very
right?
happy. Their rushing offense fucking sucks, dude. Rico Dowdle looked fine.
He looked a little
He
better.
looked okay, but no, I'm not sold on this Cowboys
Yeah,
team.
it's tough.
And this Lions offense has a plethora of
Yeah.
weapons. I mean, they're not even touching Sam Laporta. I know he's injured. I don't know if he's playing this week or not. But I mean, they have an unbelievable wealth of riches at the skill positions. and I don't think the Cowboys D is going to be able to hang with them at all. The only reason the Cowboys D, like I said, if they ever able to hang with the team is if they don't have any skill positions, which was the Steelers. That's why it worked out for them. Not going to work so well against the Lions. Lions cover this.
Yeah, could not agree more with everything you just said. The Cowboys lose 9 out of 10 times if they go against anyone who's more useful than Justin Fields, who's like a wet paper towel
Whoa.
cleaning up.
I didn't
a
think it
dam.
was Justin's fault.
Justin's been great quarterback.
He threw for 131 yards,
That
and
wasn't his fault.
I mean, you're not going to win games with throwing 131 yards. He
Get him
threw for
receiver.
2
Get
touchdowns.
Devontae Adams. Steelers, if you're
he did
listening.
throw for 2 touchdowns, so
They need
credit.
Devontae
If you're
credit there,
listening,
but
Steelers.
Game-winning drive.
You mentioned Justin Fields, so I have to
Yeah.
bring it up. Get him some fucking help. Go trade for Devontae Adams right fucking now. Give him a second rounder. Give him whatever you want. Just fucking go get him, and this team transforms.
When
I
are we
think he
gonna have
wants
the
to be
George
with. I
Pickens
think he wants to be with Aaron Rodgers. But
That was
anyways,
unbelievable.
Bad.
I think that I think Dak is gonna stay on pace with throwing another 2 picks or throwing the ball over X amount of
He
times
loves that.
against Detroit. Except the difference will be that Detroit actually capitalizes not only off the turnovers but on their offensive drives as well. Detroit is going to win by a route.
Win by a route. All right, is this a consensus pick?
Yeah.
Contact all.
Oh, it is. Boom. Consensus pick.
Lions.
Lions. There it is.
Lions.
boom.
And I actually agree with Mike. I actually think this game is not really going to be close when you look at this final score.
That's why I thought this number was so weird. Even in Dallas.
But the
It's
weird,
because they're coming off a win.
weird thing about NFL spreads though is like when they've been kind of at this low number, teams have been getting blown out
They have
a
been
lot
getting blown
more
out.
the past couple weeks. Like you look at like the Broncos, like last week, like that was supposed to be a tight game, and Broncos just blew them. Same with the Commanders, -3, absolutely destroyed them. Something about these -3 spreads are a little tricky
And
in
the
the
big
NFL.
spreads have been the ones.
And the big
that
spreads have been the ones
yeah.
that they've been wrong on. And this Lions team, listen, I actually do agree with Ryan. I like the under here. I like the under because this Lions team can just flat out run the ball, and I don't believe in this Cowboys defense at all. We all know about Jahmyr Gibbs. He's fantastic. A running back on the Lions is arguably top 3 right now, and just in terms of the way he's rushing the ball is David Montgomery.
100%.
I mean,
It's
he's
unbelievable.
unbelievable. And that 1-2 punch, like I just don't see how the Cowboys alone stop those two. Then you mix in Amon-Ra. You still have Sam Laporta if he plays.
And
you still have
J-Mo.
This just might be
Jameson
it
Williams.
might be the Jared Goff game.
Well, I mean, Goff last game was perfect. He was
Right.
18 for 18. I think this.
that was insane.
I think this game's going to be out of hand quick. Cowboys. The only way this over hits is if like Lions really go crazy, and then Cowboys in garbage time get some points. But either way, I love Lions -3.
Well, there we are. Consensus on
Boom.
that. Last big game, and then we're going to get into all of our cards and picks for the week. Bills at Jets, a New York/New Jersey showdown. Buffalo, 3-point road favorites, total 41.5. Michael, I'm going to start with you on this one.
I thought you would take the reins here.
I don't want to take the reins on this one. I'm going to go last. Aaron Rodgers has kind of come under fire, so I just want to kind of preface this. These are 2 quarterbacks that have been a little shaky recently, but especially Aaron Rodgers, because Josh Allen started really strong. What do you make of this Jets team? And then, also, how do you think they stack up against the Bills? Because he's really not been the guy that he was promised.
I completely agree. Aaron Rodgers is not living up to a preseason hype. Although I will say that I think they're getting more slack than what they really deserve.
Wow.
The reason I say that is because, granted, last week's game was in London, which has a drastic effect on how everybody plays. But there is something to be said about this Jets team was almost able to overtake an unbeaten Vikings team, which is very, very impressive to me. I also think that, majority of the time, if that game were to be replayed, the Jets actually do win that game. I don't think Aaron Rodgers throws that pick.
Which one?
Well, okay, the last one. But in general, I bank on Aaron Rodgers coming back into Aaron Rodgers form. I don't think he's going to make those mistakes. So, although I shouldn't do this, I'm taking the Jets +3.
Mario?
What I saw from the Bills last week against the Texans, is especially with the way they were able to kind of figure it out, because they were missing Shakir, which is a big piece of this offense, and you really saw them struggle that first half. And the way I think they were able to kind of find a rhythm with the other, especially Josh Allen with the other receivers, I think that was a good sign going into this week. I think Bills -3. I think they run away with this. The main concern I have with the Jets is, Rodgers, say what you will, he hasn't looked amazing. I think he's actually looked good enough to win you most games. The problem is this rushing attack is not.
Dude,
what I
Brees
thought
Hall
it'd be.
fell off a
Hall is
cliff.
not
I mean,
anything.
they have not looked good. Pass blocking wise,
Their
the
offensive
Jets.
line is terrible.
Well, it's weird because pass blocking wise, they're actually not super bad. It's like they can protect Rodgers. It's whenever they have to run block,
Yeah.
for some reason, they just don't. They have run block is actually a lot of chemistry. Like if you look at really good running teams, like this Lions team, they've been together for a while. Even like if you throw back a bunch of years to like Pittsburgh when you guys had Le'Veon, the way you guys. Your guards would just interchange
the old
with one another.
Cowboys,
Like that's
yeah.
all chemistry. And this Jets team has a lot of new linemen. Don't really have that chemistry. Brees Hall, Braylon Allen, like they, none of them are really looking great. So I like the Bills here -3.
Yeah, I'm actually all over the Bills here
Yeah.
-3. Only because Shakir's going to come back, in my opinion, and what they said. He's on my fantasy
Even if
team.
he was out, I like. The
Yeah,
Bills.
I just think this is going to be a like Josh Allen. He's going to win the game himself.
Yeah.
Last week, as Mario said, he was figuring it out part through the game, throwing to Mac Hollins and whoever, the Curtis
Sean
Samuel, and trying to
Coleman.
and like Coleman started to get a rhythm.
Yeah.
James Cook's look absolutely phenomenal for his team. He's been doing everything amazingly. This defense hasn't been that bad in my opinion. So I just think I personally just think the Bills are going to run away with it. Big division game. The Bills want to hold on to that. Them winning the division 5 years, 6 years in a row.
Yeah.
They got to win this game, and I need Jets to prove me wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
I trust more in the Bills. They've done it for years now. The Jets have not shown me anything. Because they showed the stat of they had the same amount of points through this week as they did last year with Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
The exact same. So I'm like, all right, so what are we missing here? They have a better team. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I need to get proven wrong. So
Yeah, this is an interesting one for me because I was going to say the same thing about the running game, and I think the reason they're not able to run the ball well is because defenses are only giving a fuck about the run. Aaron Rodgers, I mean, it's not Aaron Rodgers playing quarterback. It's someone in an Aaron Rodgers jersey. He's just making mistakes. His receivers aren't on the same page. So I don't know if this is him going off in the forest and doing ayahuasca in the offseason and not getting the reps in that he had with Devontae Adams and all them boys.
Yeah.
But there's a reason Alan Lazard has 4 touchdowns and Garrett Wilson has 2.
Yeah.
It's because he's played with Alan Lazard before.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson, if you look at the targets they got, Garrett Wilson has 56 targets, 292 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Alan Lazard only has 34 targets, but he has 240 yards and 4 touchdowns. So for some reason, he's not on the same page with his wide receiver one.
One is
Garrett
just
Wilson.
more efficient, and it's the guy you
Yeah,
played with.
Yeah, it's crazy. And Brees Hall is averaging 3 yards per carry.
Yeah.
Worst on his team.
Yep.
Like, and they are not doing anything. Aaron Rodgers, 7 touchdowns and 4 picks. We're going into
absurd.
week 6.
Yeah.
Like, this is not the Aaron Rodgers that was promised. And I think they're just kind of saying, beat us with the pass, and he's not able to do it because they're not on the same page. So I'm not a fan of this Jets team, but their defense is impressive. They lost by 1 point to the Broncos, who are actually starting to pick up some steam, have a really good defense. They lost to the 49ers, and then they lost last week to the undefeated Vikings. So they've only lost to like good teams and then a 1-point game to the Broncos. This Bills team, I think I know exactly what they are. I said it last week. Any real playoff team they play, they're going to lose. So they've played 2 playoff teams, Ravens, Texans, they've lost both of them. The non-playoff teams they played, Cardinals, Dolphins, Jaguars, they've won all those games. Jets are a teetering playoff team. Maybe not, but if they get it together with Aaron Rodgers, they are. So I'm going to err on the side of Josh Allen's a fucking piece of shit. So I'm going to go with Jets plus 3.
I like that.
Because
Jesus Christ.
who knows what this Jets
Josh,
team
you're a
can do.
great guy. We love you. You're an
You're
amazing
so
guy.
sharp.
Well, no, this Jets
No, you're
defense.
just so
This Jets
sharp.
defense is a playoff
That's
caliber
awesome.
defense, and Josh Allen is an absolute fucking awful quarterback when he plays any team that has any semblance of idea how to play football. But when he plays a bad team, he goes against the Cardinals, Dolphins, Jaguars, whatever. He can have his 300 yards, pad his stats. Yeah, I'm Josh Allen. I'm not a jackass, and then score 21 fantasy points combined against the
Oh, wait,
Ravens
I'm
and
a
the Texans.
jackass.
So yeah, no, it's Josh Allen. We know what Josh Allen is.
Really talented.
He's a
Seen his
pretender. He scores points
Contender.
against teams that are bad, and then chokes against good teams. That's why he doesn't ever get anything done in the playoffs. Never been to Super Bowl. Probably never will. But yeah, the bet here: Jets plus the 3. But yeah, I think we just that
I
being
love
said,
that. I love that so much.
let's go give all our picks for the
All
cards.
right, let's do it.
My card, amazing, bounce back. We're all going to go over 50% this week.
Yeah,
Everything's going to be
card.
crazy. Starting with,
I don't know about that. Mike's on the pod.
oh, God. Jesus. All
Asshole.
right. We're all going to go over 50%. Starting with Mike's favorite player, Caleb Williams. Bears minus 1.5 versus the Jags. Commanders, Ravens under 52.5, and the Ravens minus 6.5. You know what? I'm doing it line in the sand. If it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit. Bucks team total over 22.5. This team's going to score 1 million points. Eagles minus 8.5 versus the Browns. The Browns are giving up on football, I'm convinced. and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith are both supposed to be back. I think
Deshaun will post an Instagram pic with like a McLaren this week.
Oh, 100%. And a couple
That's
Gucci
minus
bags.
2,000.
He'll look fly. He'll have a $20,000 suit.
Yeah.
Colts team total over 21.5. They've been scoring a lot of points. I kind of like Joe Flacco playing. He kind of slings it all day. Cardinals Packers over 49.5. One thing this Packers does, score a lot of points, give up a lot of points. I think a million. Packers team total over 27.5 because of it. Broncos +3 versus Chargers. I like this Broncos team, especially in Denver. Tough place to play. I like Broncos here. Steelers Raiders over 36.5. Don't ask me why, but I just have a feeling the Steelers are going to explode this week. I have no idea why, but after last week, I think a million points. Panthers +6.5 versus the Falcons. Weird spot at home. These 6.5 numbers Mario was talking about. I think this is one of those weird upsets might hit at home. Lions Cowboys under 52.5. I'll bet it every year for the rest of my life. Bengals Giants under 48.5. Weird spot. I think the Bengals win and Giants don't score anything. And then ending the week with one of the best players in the league, just a specimen of a man, Josh Allen. Bills -3 versus the Jets.
Oh,
We're aligned.
why would you end on a loss?
We're aligned on some of those.
All right, yeah.
I like that.
Let's roll. Here's +6.5. Love it, love it, love it. They always cover this. Maybe win out, right? Lions -3 and Jets +3 because always err on the side of caution when Josh Allen's a piece of shit cunt that doesn't belong in the NFL.
He's not, no. Okay.
Next game, Steelers -3 at Raiders. Easy win. Easy win. Two good defensive lines. I mean, if you want to watch pass rushers, can turn this game
If you're an
on.
avid pass
TJ
rusher watcher,
Watt, Cam Hayward, and then you got on the other side Christian Wilkins and Max Crosby. I mean, this is a fucking Pro Bowl showdown right here. Going to be amazing to see. I think the Steelers will be able to throw the ball, though. Jags +1.5 at the Bears. I don't give a about any of the analytics. This is my Trevor Lawrence.
this is a heart.
This is the chosen one, the prince who was promised, the prophesized individual who would come and save the NFL against the Antichrist. And Caleb Williams is painting his nails. Who
everyone's
knows what he's
everyone's
gonna do?
dead then.
Upside down crosses, $50,000 penthouse in LA. All the extracurriculars
Hey,
right on
Trevor
this game.
Lawrence made that bag too.
No, Trevor Lawrence. He's sponsored by American Eagle. He just put out American Eagle and Jaguars. Thing. His wife is pregnant. He's having a baby girl. It's gonna be. He's a good American father. Trevor Lawrence +1.5. Bet is over passing yards as well. Cardinals +5.5 at the Packers. Marvin Harrison alternates games. Goes back and forth. Last week, didn't do shit. This week, explosion
Throw him
game.
the ball every play.
Throw him the ball, throw him the ball, throw him the ball. He covers this number on his own. He helps a lot. Texans -7 at the Patriots. Texans 4-1. I think they get it done this week. Patriots are not good. They can beat bad teams, get blown out by good teams. Patriots, bad team. Chargers -3 at the Broncos. I agree with everything Ryan said. Broncos have been really impressive. I'm just going to keep betting against them and losing. That's all I'm going to do.
You lose, you lose.
That's all I'm going to fucking do. I don't care. I don't care. You think I care? I'm under 50% anyways. So Chargers -3. Give them the pick. Falcons -6.5 at the Panthers. This probably doesn't hit either. But I've never bet on the Panthers. And the Falcons, they got some swag. Kyle Pitts, this is your year, baby. This is your fucking year. And last pick, Bengals -3.5 at the Giants. Look,
Weird line, bro. Wild lines.
No, they're gonna win by 3.
if the Bengals don't cover 3.5 against the Giants,
It's all hell.
I'm still going to bet on them next week. It doesn't matter. I don't care. There's my picks. Mike, go ahead.
Oh,
That's
wow.
the definition of psychotic.
No, I love that.
No, this is
I
why we're
love
so
that.
sharp.
And locked in.
That's why we're
motherfucker.
over 50%.
Shout out to you, Higgins.
So, if y'all have been
Shout out
paying
to
attention
Marshall.
to a pod, and especially the NFL cards, you know that I have been the absolute most miserable
30%.
human being
If
on
you're
life.
watching it, you love this guy.
Actually,
and
betting the best out of them.
You're the
and
best.
if you know that the past 2 weeks, or I'm sorry, I guess the past 3 weeks in total, I had a new strategy, and it was like all spreads and then all totals and a combination.
And none of them work.
That didn't work. So my new strategy
Don't bet.
is just blindly pick. Just absolutely don't think, just pick.
I love that.
So-
No, I actually love that. No thought,
Shoot from
Mike.
the
A
hip.
zero
Oh, no, I
thought.
love that.
Zero
I love
thought.
that.
Just whatever
So
looks.
As
I
opposed
don't
to-
think.
Never mind.
So I don't think any of
don't
the
think-
lines that
Yeah, you don't.
or games that we talked about have made it onto my card, but I actually didn't pay attention enough to check. So let's see. We're gonna start with the Jaguars +1.5 against the Bears. We're moving on to the Eagles and the Browns under a 43.5.
Chilling.
We have the Titans +1.5 against the Colts. We also have the
going
Colts
undefeated.
and Titans over 43.5.
Actually, like,
We have the
like this
Cardinals +5.5 against Green Bay.
Jesus Christ.
Chargers Broncos over 35.5. I don't know how. Pittsburgh Raiders over 36.5. Don't know how that's happening either. And then one of the more confusing ones also. Falcons Panthers under 47.5. Bijan to your promised land, baby. He's gonna get
Bijan
47
to
points.
the fucking dry land.
Yeah,
you say under?
maybe that too. Yeah, under. Cincinnati Bengals -3.5 against the Giants, and the Bills against the Jets over a 41.5.
You might sweep that card. You might go 10 now.
There's no way.
I mean, that'd be sick.
I have a weird feeling
That'd
that
be
you're going to be
sick.
sharp this week.
Mike
That'd
just
be
might
sick.
be the sharpest.
From the hip.
No, that's good. I like the
That'd be
switch
cool.
up. That was
Thank
nice.
You. Thank you. I had no thought.
Yeah, that's good. When
All
you
right.
admit it, it's better than last week. And you're like, I know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I
And
have
over
no
two Thursday
idea
night,
what's
yeah.
going to
No
happen.
idea.
Yeah, all right, Mario, round us out.
All right, starting off, Jags +1.5.
Holy shit.
I actually like this spot for the Jags.
Oh, yeah.
And Trevor Lawrence, he's starting to put it together.
Prince.
The Prince of Promise, exactly.
Cub.
Commanders +6.5 against the Ravens. Shout out Jaden, he that boy.
JD.
Ravens, Commanders under 52.5. Both teams like to keep the ball in bounds. The clock will run.
Clock's running.
Exactly. Eagles -8.5 against the Browns.
Murder.
I mean, everything we said about the Browns. And
Tell Deshaun to go
and
get a
then some.
massage. He'll be fine.
No, I mean, he beat his case.
He beat the case.
He
That
beat
was
a
his-
lot of things.
That
That's
was his
true.
win for the week.
He settled the case in private.
Yeah.
He didn't beat that shit. He wrote a check.
That's a win for him.
220,
That's a
220 guaranteed. He doesn't care.
Hey, maybe he won't post an Instagram pic. You know,
He doesn't
he's gotta
care.
save some money.
He doesn't care.
Colts -1.5 against the Titans. Titans will be winning, and then Will Levis will do his thing in the third
Legendary.
quarter, and Colts will just run away. Cardinals +8.5 against the Packers. I like Kyler Murray
Whoa, whoa,
staying.
whoa, whoa. Cardinals are +5.5.
Oh, sorry, 5.5.
Okay.
Can't speak.
Alt
I have
line.
that written down.
Alt line.
Alt line.
Whoa, minus
Play it safe.
500.
Tease it. Tease it.
Tease it. Where was that? Cardinals +5.5 Packers. Broncos Chargers under 35.5. I just like this defense, and Chargers don't like to score a lot. Steelers, shout out Ryan, shout out Tyler, -3 against the Raiders. Aligning with Ryan on this. Panthers +6.5 against the Falcons.
Bang.
I think they stay within this number. It's going to be just like a weird divisional game. And the games we already talked about. Lions -3 and Bills -3.
There you have it.
Wow.
Well,
Bang.
it's going to be a good week in NFL.
Big week. Big
And
week.
all of our mortals actually just happen to be in college. And
Well,
all
oh
four
yeah,
of us
baby.
are in the parlay. If you're a subscriber, we're giving you a free roll. We've already paid someone this year. It's fucking awesome that we got to pay someone in September.
It's only
We're-
5 weeks in, dude.
We're going to go around the table in the order that we set our mortals, quickly tell you them, and then this is the parlay you're tailing. So if you're not subscribed, if you're new to the channel, it's your first time watching, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Drop us a comment, say I'm tailing the Mortal Lock parlay, and you are automatically entered in this free roll. So Ryan, first leg of the Mortal Parlay, you got to hit all 4 of these to win.
Number 1, UNLV, Utah State, over 64.5 points.
Over,
points,
over,
points,
over,
a million.
over.
Minnesota -5.5 at UCLA.
Syracuse -4.5 against NC State with Kyle McLaren McCord.
Colorado,
Should the
Kansas State over 56.5.
points,
That's it.
Points.
Free money for you.
2 totals, 2 spreads. All you got to do, be a subscriber to take part. Mario, remind them what they got to do before they go exit the video and watch a great Saturday of college football and an even better Sunday.
I mean, if you're watching this video right now, you need to scroll down, click that subscribe button,
Road.
leave a like, leave a comment. Okay, are the Commanders the best team in football? Answer that in the comment section. Let me know. Subscribe to the channel and leave a comment because that actually helps you in the Mortal Lock.
need to
parlay.
comment.
Gives you better weight, gives you, a
how
little
we
more
pick.
leeway.
That's how we
It's
pick.
pretty much how we pick.
Yeah.
So if you leave like 3 comments, you win. We're paying $1,000 this week, so you definitely want to be subscribed. Share with a friend. Turn that notification bell on. And we'll see you again next week.
See you next week. Enjoy some great football.